Welcome to Hoops Zooted, the show that combines your two favorite things, weed and basketball. Pack 'em all and grab a seat as Evan rambles on about this team he's loved for the past 40 plus years.
Welcome to a new edition of Hoops Zooted. I'm your host, Evan Moore, and it has been a reasonably pleasant week since the last time I've seen you. And, I've had a bit of a revelation myself this week, so I feel like the Lakers have turned a corner, and I feel like I've turned a corner as well. So it's been a pretty decent week. So in honor of that this week, I'm smoking a little bit of sour diesel and Kush mints, but I'm smoking it in my nice big wizard pipe. So anyway, since it's been such a nice week, and like I said, I feel like I've had kind of a turned a corner as well as this team. Yeah, I figured this was the appropriate smoking device. So I feel a little bit kind of like like Gandalf the Grey becoming Gandalf the White kind of vibe. But anyway, I'll get into that a little bit later. But let's play a little bit of music and let me take a few hits here. Great to see everybody tonight. That's a little better. So anyway, like I said, it's been a decent week. We've only had 2 games since the last time I saw you, and we won both games. So 2 W's. So a week of nothing but wins to report this week for I think the first time in a long time. And we have ourselves a winning streak. We have won 3 in a row. 3 in a row. So anyway, we won back-to-back games. We had the Pistons, and we beat them 125-111. And then after that, we had the Jazz, and beat them 138-122. Now the Pistons game was, a nice revelation because, again, back to our starters, with Rui in there, that starting lineup is still undefeated, and they were incredibly balanced scoring that night, and and that was a nice win. Now it is only the Pistons. Pistons have only won 8 games. We got to put that into perspective, but it's important to get these wins over teams that we should beat like that. That was a big problem last year and even the year before with, a lot of teams that we had no business losing to, that we were losing to. So we're taking care of business with these, teams that we should take care of business. And that's a good thing. And then, LeBron didn't play in the game against the Jazz. Of course, there was a lot of, controversy, myself included. Because I can see the argument for, playing LeBron against the Jazz instead of playing against the Pistons, because the Jazz are a better team, and team wise, it seems like you bank a little bit more on, getting both wins, doing it that way. But it is nice, with LeBron's age, to give him this extra rest. So it does make sense, from that sense. So I do get it. And, but like, I also understand. So like, I get both sides of the argument, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, obviously we didn't need him. And, AD was phenomenal in that game. And AR and Rui continue to be phenomenal as well. And, D'Lo has been great. D'Lo had, I believe, 17 assists in that Jazz game. Yeah. So this team is really starting to put things together, and we're finally four games above 500 for the first time here, 30-26 for the first time here in the year of Kobe. That's nice to finally be, 4 games above 500, because we were, I believe, 15-11, but that seems like so long ago. So we're back in the positive, and we're moving forward, and getting some rest. Hopefully we're gonna get some guys back soon after All-Star break as well. So things are trending upward. Things are trending upward. As difficult as things have been, this is nice, and it's helped me kind of put things in perspective this year, I think I put so much into, wanting that championship this year. And, when the Kobe statue day came around, those of you that follow me on Twitter, probably noticed, I got into a number of arguments with people, and I was pretty emotional on the timeline as well. That was a pretty big, heavy day, but it was also, kind of revelatory, because it made me realize that, in a lot of ways I'm still grieving, and that's, that's what a lot of those outbursts are about. It's, yeah, and it's still difficult. We all still miss him. It's, anytime someone like that, is taken tragically, it's pretty hard to, get over. You're going to have these days where you think things are all good and everything's fine, and then just one little trigger, and yeah, you get mad. And and it doesn't help that I also just recently lost a very, very good friend in September. And that it's it's made it extra hard. But the main thing that it's really made me do, that's been revelatory and really helpful, is it's really, the struggles with this team and everything like that, they've forced me to kind of be in the present moment, because that's all you can do. We can't get rid of Ham, that they're not going to fire him. All we can do is sit here and kind of cope, and a lot of people, yeah, it sucks. It's but that's sometimes in life, that's all you can do, when this shit gets so heavy, that's really all you can do is cope. And so it's really been helpful. I feel, and it's not just like the wins this week, but like this week, I just feel like there's been kind of a shift in me because like I've been more appreciative of the moment. I've been more in the moment, and I've just noticed, a lot of things just kind of, you know, giving me a little more breathing room and just kind of easing up on me a little bit because it's also been, since my friend passed away, I've talked about it a little bit here on, in my timeline as well as here on the podcast, but it's been tough, man. And so yeah, like staying in the present moment and kind of feeling the pain and flowing with it is, really, really helped me. And, I feel really good today, probably better than I've felt in months. And yeah, I feel like I'm trending up with the Lakers right now too. So it's been kind of nice on that. That's, it's one of the reasons why I'm wearing my light colored cap today. I've got, the light colored jersey, just feeling a little, feeling a little brighter today, and just wanted to express it a little bit more. And, you know, and, this is a work in progress. So like, I'm not gonna, sit here and like, kind of like, blow some smoke up your ass about like, just think positive and everything, gets better. It's, the real truth of this is it's like, we're all muddling through this kind of shit. And, the things that work for you are the things that work for you. And, you know, this worked for me, man. It just, in a way, like the struggles of this team, like were the struggle that I needed to help me kind of move past a lot of my grief. And that Kobe statue moment was kind of like this kind of explosive moment where I just kind of let a lot of that emotion out finally. And, yeah, it was good and cathartic. And yeah, I feel so much better. And, as disappointing as it was to lose on Kobe night, like I still feel like, they played so hard in that game. And, we had a chance to win that, even shorthanded. So that, that's good enough for me, man. Like that, competing, really means something to me, So anyway, I'll move on from some of my, woo woo hippy dippy shit here. But just wanted to share that with you because like I did have kind of a breakthrough this week, and I feel much better. And yeah, I just wanted to share that all with you. So anyway, before I move on to the next topic, let me take one little hit here. There it is. Stoner's problem all the time. Set your letter down in weird places and forget where you put it. So anyway, moving on. But we've turned it around here. But I am one who's still not going to give Ham any credit for this. And yeah, a bunch of the time people in the timeline are like, "Oh, why are you not going to give Ham credit now?" And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why I'm not going to give Ham credit. They had to do an intervention with Ham. Ham did not make these changes on his own. We all know what happened. We all know there was a meeting where everybody got together and they all had to talk this shit out because shit wasn't fucking working. And what happened? Things changed. And, that's also when we saw Phil Handy, LeBron, and AD get more active on the bench with coaching and calling plays. And, Ham has said himself that, it's always been a combination, a group committee thing with all of them anyway. So it seems very obvious to me that that's what's happened, is that Phil Handy, LeBron, and AD have seized control of the play calling and just like, hey, we're gonna right the ship here. And thankfully for that. So it was, let's be very, very clear on this. Darvin, I still like you as a person, but you were not a great coach. You were stubborn. And, I do appreciate the fact that you were willing to listen in this case, but, it's a damn shame that it took a goddamned intervention halfway through the season, more than 40 games into the season, to get you to get your shit together. So let's be real here. Because things were stagnant. Things were completely stagnant until we had this meeting. You were doing the same thing over and over, like a crazy person, not understanding that that's the definition of craziness, of doing the same thing over and over, and it's still not working. So, thank you, Phil Handy. Thank you, LeBron. Thank you, AD, for seizing control of this. Because, like an addict, had you not seized control of this, Darvin wouldn't have changed without this intervention. So let's be very clear. This was an intervention. This was not Darvin Ham suddenly turning it around, and we need to suddenly make the praise as loud as our criticism. No, we need to keep it real here. Yes, he does deserve some credit for being able to listen and not being so stubborn, because the thing is, but I think had he been so stubborn, he probably wouldn't have been fired anyway. And I think he realizes that. So let's also be real. So, we can give him a smidgen of credit for being open and realizing like, oh shit, I'm going to get fired here if I don't do this. But this was a goddamned intervention. This was not Ham, suddenly having a revelatory moment and turning it around. It was not, and from an observer standpoint, there's no way, anyway. So on to the next topic. I've been joking since summer league that, kind of semi-joking, because I've always believed in the four guys in our starting lineup that are that we've returned from last year, that we had solid, should have Vando in there. It should be all five, at least from what succeeded late last year. But that's a whole other story. Heal up, Vando. Your injury luck has been awful this year. But we might have ourselves a big four. AR, D'Lo, LeBron, and AD have all been averaging over 20 points and 5 assists for February. So let that thing sink in for a little bit. We're halfway through February here, and that's a small sample size, but it's a good little chunk. 20 points and 5 assists for all of February, and Rui is not too far behind him, averaging 15 points a game or so, I believe, for the same time period. Andrew and AD also had the first, I believe it was in the, it's one of these games this week. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, Rui and AD had the first 30-point duo game since Shaq and Kobe, and I don't want to name the game because I can't remember offhand. I didn't write it down here on my sheet. Like an idiot. Anyway. Shouldn't have referenced it if I didn't write it down. Stupid stoners. Anyway, so this team offensively is really starting to click. And, like I really, this, it kind of makes me feel nostalgic for the, uh, late 80s back-to-back team, because there was a good stretch where, they had four guys, getting just about 20 points a game, with Magic, Kareem, Worthy, and Byron Scott. And, that was just such a fun team to watch. And that offense was so fluid and smooth and just, yeah. So like nostalgically, it's like, even though it's been just a little taste, it's just been like, yes, like four players with 20 points. Like, yeah, it's just, it's also kind of fun because it's something that I, when I play 2K and I'll play like, franchise, and yeah, that's what I try and do is, get four players to average 20 points a game, so it's, it from that nostalgic point, that's been kind of fun. And, you know, defensively, obviously we still have some issues. I'm not going to sit here and like blow smoke up your ass that, oh, boom, everything's changed, we're winning the chip. I think we still got a big uphill climb. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I think we can, climb up to maybe the fifth seed if we're lucky. Maybe the fourth seed if we're super, super lucky. But like, we're probably looking around to be somewhere between that fifth and seventh seed, to get into the playoffs. But hopefully, fifth or sixth. Fifth, ideally is a little bit better because, if we get fifth, there's a, outside chance that you can possibly get at least one home series. But anyway, like I said, I'm not gonna bullshit you. It's, this is not a championship contending team at this moment in time. But, the beautiful thing about, linear time is that, we've got it. It's still in front of us. So, we have all these games to work on it and to get better. And like the improvement that we've had in a lot of players has been great. Like, Jackson Hayes in particular has been incredible recently. So sometimes if you're patient, these things work out because as good as these players are, as much as they've dedicated to this, it's also about fitting into your role and, the situation that you have here, as well as adapting to, when injuries happen and changes happen in the lineups. And so, it's real easy to look at a player and be like, they have a bad performance and be like, oh, he's terrible. It's, I've always felt that, like, it's much better to kind of evaluate it performance by performance. Like, if a player plays badly, you can say, oh yes, he played like shit, played like garbage, played like ass tonight. But saying that any player that's in the NBA is ass is, to me, absolutely asinine. These guys worked their asses off to get here. Like, none of these guys are ass. Like, some of these guys are having a hard time, matching that same skill, talent, and intensity level, but nobody in this league is ass. So anyway, sidebar. So, I think, actually, yeah, before I get on to the next topic, let's play a little bit of music, and I'll take a couple hits here. That's better. So anyway, on to the next topic. Sometimes good things do come to those who wait. I feel like, the pandemic really screwed up this team's timing in so many ways. We were rolling before the pandemic hit, and everybody can make all these bullshit excuses about the bubble, and like, yeah, it gave us rest, and whatever, like, but we were rolling before that, and we would have, I feel like, number one seed, we still would have won the chip that year. And I think we had we had a full rest before 2021, I don't think AD would have been so beaten up, and had to deal with all the injuries he had to deal with. But it is what it is. We can't change the past. That's been a big thing to do. Big theme this week, I feel like, too. Like, because people have also been bringing up about, like Darvin Ham's finally got it together, and like it's taken half the season, and it is frustrating, but like, just got to deal. Can't change the past. And so, but it feels like justice is coming. It feels like justice is on the horizon for this team because of what happened in 2020. And I feel like the basketball gods understand this, and I feel like they're going to repay us, whether or not this year, next year for sure. And I just feel it in my bones that we're gonna get another championship with LeBron. So I still have my doubts about Ham, but I don't have my doubts about the talent on this team this year. So and they've shown me over this past stretch here that they can overcome a lot of that. Now, can they overcome enough to beat Denver? That's a whole other story. I don't know if we're there yet, but thankfully we've got, what, 56 games played. So that's another 26 games or so to go. Yeah. To get to 82. So we got some time, thankfully, to kind of get better here. After the All-Star break, we got some time to rest and some time to gel here as a team, and we're moving and we're trending in the right direction. So there is hope. Like I said, the defense absolutely needs to get better, but the offense is finally clicking. Like, that's been great. Like, especially like fast break offense, and yeah, that's been fun to watch. And if we can make a run this year, and even from like the 5th or 6th seed, make a run and steal a chip this year, and then, have those assets next year to go after a third star, boom, there's our dynasty. 3 in, what is it, 6 years. That's, that'll qualify as a dynasty. So anyway, we're working on it, and it's what happened in 2020 screwed us, but like, good things could be coming to us, because we waited. So, keep our fingers crossed. I know it's frustrating. I know Lakers fans, a lot of you, and also, I feel like a lot of you are never going to be happy, but that's a whole other story. But I have a good feeling about this team. I didn't put that futures bet down in Vegas when I was at Summer League for no reason. My gut told me that this team was going to win, and we'll see if I'm right or not. Obviously, like I fell off that bandwagon and, had kind of given it up. And, I have to say I'm not like fully on it. Like maybe I'm kind of just, you know, dragging behind it or something. But like, if they can play like this, they can do it. There's enough talent on this team. There's absolutely enough talent on this team. But, it's all dependent on them and also dependent on Ham not falling into, bad mistakes again and, not having some sort of way to, override him, like that can still be an issue. Because I still don't trust how he favors Torian Prince. Thankfully, he's bringing Torian off the bench now, and with less responsibility, Torian's playing so much better. But he's also still playing a lot of minutes in some games. So it's there's still little things, and like the game that LeBron is out, Torian comes in instead of like Christian Wood. That didn't quite make sense. It felt more like against the Jazz, it would make more sense to play with a little more size. But thankfully, it worked out. But we did have a slow start against the Jazz. Like I believe it wasn't until the third quarter until we started to pull away. It was a close game for most of the first half and early part of the third quarter. So yeah, it is what it is from all that stuff. But I still, like I said, I this team has enough on the floor talent wise. Now whether or not we can put everything together still has yet to be seen. But I'd like to see us go on an actual long winning streak, for me to really believe in this team. We've got 3 right now, and maybe we can come out of the All-Star break and, string something really, really good together. And maybe I'll start fully believing in this team again. But, like I said, I didn't bet on this team in the offseason for no reason. And I don't think a lot of the, people who know basketball and know basketball well that graded, the offseason for the Lakers as like a B plus or an A minus, I don't think they were wrong either, So, there have been other circumstances, and it's so easy, in today's hot take culture, to kind of, have these inflammatory takes that, go with these easy to argue narratives instead of actually talking about the nuance and stuff like that. So, but, that's what I'm for. Anyway, let's move on here to my last topic here, but let me take one more hit from the Gandalf pipe here. So Spencer Dinwiddie has been a absolute joy to have on the team. Like, man, first of all, like when we signed him and the Lakers put his son's, or I'm sorry, not his son, a jersey of his for his son, like in his size with his jersey in his locker, and then shared the video with all of us. I mean, that was awesome. Like, what a nice welcome for him. And he, like, had this like perfect analogy of what it's like to be a Laker, talking about comparing him, to being in Dallas and being here. Like he's saying that Dallas was like his mother, where like, they lost and they'd say, and, everybody be like, oh, everything's going to be okay. Everything's fine. And, but the Lakers are more like dad. And, when you lose, it's more like, no, you better do it next time. Or I can't remember exactly how he put it, but it was something, something similar to that. I don't think I have that quite right, but you get the gist. He understands what it means to wear this uniform. He understands that the expectations are high and that the pressure is high. So like, going into it, that was like, boom, like you get it. Like even before he'd played a game. And then, these past two games against the Pistons and the Jazz, he's been so nice off the bench, great passer, and he's dude's a walking bucket to begin with, and just, I mean, what a wonderful addition. Like what a steal. Like, everybody who was complaining about, not making a trade, we like probably scored the best buyout person on the market. And it was also apparently a big part of that was, because Rob had a little bit of extra money because of the way he'd, had everything set up with the cap, that he was able to offer a little bit more than other teams were to Spencer. So, haha, all these people that have been talking all this shit about Rob, he's pretty smart. Things may have not gone exactly like we wanted them to, but like things are starting to, the puzzle pieces are starting to kind of come into place. And Spencer has been a beautiful, beautiful addition. He perfect fit for this team. And, he's exactly, what we needed. Obviously it's going to affect somebody's minutes. I wonder if Gabe Vincent comes back, and I wonder if Gabe just doesn't get minutes at all now. But hey, it is what it is. I feel like, Spencer's better, and I'm really happy with what we've got here. So, and then you add to that Jackson Hayes has been playing great in the past, I believe, like 3-4 games. Just, man, like different night and day, different player, completely different player. He's better on defense, better on offense. Like, he used to go up, contested in traffic a lot. And he's finally, using his burst and his athleticism to, avoid going up in traffic as often. And, so he's been better on the offensive end, and like, and this is, goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Like, give them some time. A lot of these guys are young. LeBron is the oldest guy on this team, and then AD is the next oldest at 30, and then everybody else is under 30 on this team. Everybody else. Just think about that and let that sink in for a minute. These are all young guys, and we've got a lot of guys that are under 25 even. So give it time. This is, and it goes back to what I was talking about, about sometimes good things come to those who wait. If you're patient and you wait and you develop, it's been difficult going through this, but this is something that the front office was doing to try and hopefully build for us long term, so that we're in contention here for, not only to get another chip for LeBron, but hopefully to get, another chip or two after LeBron, when AD is still here in his prime. This is what this is about. We're trying to build for the future. Yes, we admit mistakes have been made in the past, but this is also a great little life lesson here. You have a choice here. You can either sit and freak out about all the mistakes that were made by the Lakers in the past, or you can face the present moment right here and right now, and that's all we've got, and move forward with it. Because we still got a chance. This season's not fucking over. So have a little bit of faith. I'm not asking you to, jump on the bandwagon and be like, oh, this team's going to win it all. No, nothing like that. Just have a little bit of faith that this team might actually surprise you. So, but it has been a pretty good week, and thankfully the Lakers, like I said, are trending up. So, I guess that really means only one thing, and that's if I can find there it is.
It's time for historical story circle. Gas or pass?
Yes, it is time. It is time for historical stoner circle. So, since I'm feeling in such a great mood this week, and we've had 2 wins, I'd like to smoke a bowl with the whole fucking world this week. See, yeah, I'm back on my hippy dippy bullshit. What a bunch of hippy dippy baloney, huh? So anyway, in honor of that, let's take another hit off the Gandalf pipe. And wherever you are out in the world, light it, don't hide it, bro. We can all get high together. Come on, man. Can all kind of like feel the same vibe, and to maybe try and chill out some of the other like crazy angsty vibes around us. If enough of us can kind of keep a chill vibe, it can at least maybe take the edge off some of that anger around us. Because it's okay. Anger's good and healthy, but holding on to anger is the real problem. It's fine to be angry for like a day or two, but even sometimes a week, but like if you hold on to it for weeks and weeks, it's just like holding a hot stone, hoping you're going to burn the other person you're angry at. And all it's doing is burning you the whole time. So anyway, on that note, I love you all. Peace out and stay zooted.
In the history of mankind, men have been called out and written up millions of times over, but only one man was written up for, and I quote, making barnyard noises and wouldn't stop. Rest in power, my friend. Washiko.